Hey, looks like we're back. Just give me one moment while we get started here. So, Rena has decided to go crazy on us. Yay! And, it's the next day at school. She didn't put a razor blade in our mochi, but she did put, how I say, like a sewing needle inside of her mochi. Just a threat, not enough to kill us or anything. Thanks, Rena. Just to let us know, I'm watching you. I know what you're doing. So, little bit scary, guys. A little bit scary. And yeah, I've been a little bit freaked out by all this. This is a very intense story. I'm just getting everything else set up right now. Oh, okay. I'll see you later, Mopsio. I know you're in Europe, so it's pretty late over there. Your classmates, a guest. Yeah, so basically, the reason she's back here, she got expelled from her last school. Alexa, turn off living room. Alexa, turn off the living room. Alexa, turn off living room. I want to be freaked out, man. I want to be freaked out. I ate a bunch of crappy food. I don't know what I was thinking, man. So, go get cozy again. Oh, boy. Unable to move from a sudden turn of events, I wonder where she could have found the most windows lined up in a row. Probably the hallway. Walk, wind up, smash, walk, wind up, smash. It was difficult for me to connect that horrifying image with Rena smiling at me right now. But I just had to imagine it. Impossible because it was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking no longer worked. The unpleasant, piercing sound of shattered glass, the crunchy noise as Rena treads across the broken shards, walking toward me. Rena's classmates grow pale as they forget to even breathe. Rena came closer, breaking windows along her path. Did they earnestly try to bring her to her senses by saying something? Or did they jump at her trying to stop her savagery? Or did they run to the staff room after being directed by the teachers? Probably none of the others. The face of that blood-curdling sight. Rena busting window after window. Undoubtedly, all they could do or silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, just clearing the path for Rena to continue. It was far too violent of an act for them to seek refuge by looking the other way. That's not to say they were looking the other way. They were doing the only thing they could to protect themselves. If they had done something differently from the rest, they might have been suddenly found themselves as Rena's new targets. What would Rena have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer is obvious. She should have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. Meaning, they would be the next window. Rena staring into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling underfoot as she drew closer. I was also drawn into her eyes, paralyzed. Please stop staring at me, Rena. Ah! Okay. Oh my god, okay. Everything's shaking too. Do you see that? Like, even the menu's shaking. This is crazy. Then Rena struck me with the bat over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crouched down to the floor, desperately protecting my head. Rena didn't care whether it was my head or my back. Zealously, she hits me again and again. What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was so indifferent, it was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, it didn't make as pleasant a sound as the windows. Oh my god. This is screwed up, man. She struck me continuously over and over again. The sound of Rena didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody save me. Turning a blind eye, unless we're hanging out. But of course, everyone in class scrambled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They gained nothing from saving a cram school, try hard like me. Eventually, there'd be a faint sound, similar to when you crack open a walnut and some sort of reddish-black spray would shoot out. Anyway, it wasn't that Rena momentarily lost herself in her anger. To force myself to breathe and calming down my heart, I recalled what Oishi-san told me. Oh, okay, Laura, I'll see you in a bit. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all the conversations he had with Rena-san. It shows up, and quite a bit at that. What does? She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Following that, Rena was suspended and had regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Rena was undergoing counseling, she said it over and over. Oyashiro-sama. It seems that Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost, appearing in her house every night, standing over her pillow, looking down at her. That was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture, but it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then what Rena did was she saying that ghastly incident was a result of her being possessed by Oyashiro-sama. Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because of some sort of conspiracy. Every time I talked with Oishi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not of some curse. Except, if it was perpetrating the incidents, my friends were somehow deeply connected. If I refused to believe that curse was real, then I would have to believe those who acted the kindest to me were deeply involved in these incidents. Why? How? For what reason? Was Rena? Was everybody? It was much more painful and troublesome then accepting that it was just Oyushu Siro's curse. In the aftermath, Rina had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Oshiro-sama. I felt a strange sense of relief from that. So that's how it was. There wasn't a second sight to Rina. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Oyoshiro-sama. It wasn't Mina's fault. Oyoshiro-sama was the one to blame. I knew this was all backwards. Refusing to believe there was such a curse, I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my beliefs at my own convenience, saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse to blame, which was the better choice. Accepting that Oyashiro-sama's curse exists, or that Rina, and the rest of them, were deeply involved in the string of deaths. I didn't want to think about it. I just didn't think about it. We all continued the same as always. I wanted to believe that. But that was no longer possible. I had received a message. It was pathetic of me to try and bend the meaning to my own convenience. Regardless of my opponent being a human or a curse, I won't let it kill me. As if I would just bend over and give in. For no good reason at all. Keiichi-kun, you've been making a really weird face. Why? I wonder. Inhaling sharply, upon hearing Rina's voice, I came back to my senses. I had realized that we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exercised those terrifying thoughts. And I looked at there's no way Rina could have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. Oh boy, when I what? As I slid the door open, a blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped down on my head and moved myself into the classroom. The chalk dust went into my eyes, including a brief moment of agony. Oh ho ho! How benefiting for the truant, Keiichi-san. Good morning to both of you, Keiichi and Rina. Good morning, Satoko-chan, Rika-chan. Not quite moved for it. I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently. What is this? How discouraging indeed. Keiichi doesn't seem back to his usual self yet. Yeah, take it easy on him for today, okay? Suddenly there was a slap down on my shoulder. I heard a bit. Hey, Kei-chan, you get enough rest? It was Mion. My mind was full with the stuff about Rina, but Mion was also a party of interest. Remember, Keiichi, that hawkish gaze from yesterday. Yeah, morning. What's that unenergetic greeting? Did you eat the mochi I brought you? Because I ate them, I'm like this. Those words are itching to be blurted out. I really just didn't have the appetite. I ate a few, but quite a lot were left over. What about the homework? You have an answer for which one was Rina's? Can't believe you forget your homework, Keiichi-kun. He said, we can't help it. Time for your penalty. Flashing a lurid smile, Mion returned to her seat. There was nothing from our exchanges that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. Of course. Anyone listening to our conversations up until this point wouldn't see anything suspicious. That's why it was so frightening. They acted in a way that, regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Maebara, no one would ever suspect them. That fact had me terrified. Soon the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, the dull ordinary day began. This free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood. I gently closed my eyes and pondered the ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I had fallen out of favor with them. This is very intense, man. Oh my god, this is just very, very intense. After interacting with Oishi's-san multiple times, I could see I was getting close to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday with that mochi was a good indicator of that. No corner, it's just my habit. What's my habit of understating things? It probably had no meaning beyond stunting the progress, buying themselves some time. Oh my god. Until they had a method of completely erasing me, they were just biding their time. Even though they kicked me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. Showing sensation on my desk made me recall Satoshi Hojo, the boy who used the seat until last year when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something that he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn! I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never! But were they really trying to kill me? I've had these contradictory feelings for a while. Even now, I suspected them. I had to feel like I had to cover them. No, this can't be. Whew. A little suspicious behavior, morning like this just made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. Oh, hello, Ben. How you doing? No, that's just what I wanted to believe. Doubting my friends? Covering for them? My life was in danger. Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated on a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolvable trains of thought. So how are you doing, Ben? Are you an idiot, Keiichi Maebara? The answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have been just an accident, right? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of mochi? The benefit of the doubt can only go so far. Your subscribers is 43. Oh, that's good. Glad you could come and join us today. We're playing Higurashi, and now we're suspecting our main friend Rena of gonna kill us, and we also have suspicions of everybody else that we're friends with. So that's lovely. Both Rena and Miono acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outright ludicrous, right? So let me see something for a second here. Was my alert box working? I guess it is. Let me make sure it's working for everything. Interesting. Yeah, these games. This is quite scary. This is quite scary. Oh, it says work. I don't know. Weird stuff, huh? Rena just corrected me for lying. Miona only asked me about what I had lunch for lunch. So, Ben, have you played all of these? A lot of these? Rena was standing outside our door eavesdropping for a good hour, you know? She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside your room? And is it normal to go home afterwards without saying anything? You heard from Oishi-san, didn't you? About what Rena did to her former school? But at the hospital, she said it was Yoshiro-sama's fault. She... Cut it out, Keiichi Maebara. Do you realize they're out to kill you? I inadvertently blurted out those words aloud. I guess I'll say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few moments. Afterwards, I had to look around and check if anyone else had heard it. A little soliloquy cut a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Rena and the others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal, ordinary life. Do you think I could suddenly believe that my friends who I had been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday now intended to kill me? Right? Too soft, Keiichi. This time, I remember to keep my voice down, so now only I could hear it. There was one thing I now understood. I was too soft. Oh, man. Whew, this is so crazy. There you go. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Rena was and the rest of them were. Oh man. Oh, what was that? What was this? Oh, Joyce is now following. Thank you for the follow, Joyce. Cool, stuff is actually finally working. Jose, thank you for the follow. I was too soft for not listening to Oichi-san when he was honestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. So I just fixed a connection I had with my Facebook, so now I am getting spammed. I'm getting spammed. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had any notion to try and kill me. I need to get rid of such naive thoughts. Okay, yeah, you can feel free to give your YouTube a link if you want to just put a link in the chat. I'll give you a follow. So I made the resolution. I heard the bell signaling the end of class. I think the Facebook thing is going to go on forever. I think I better change this. Oh, maybe I should just turn the sound off for now, because it's going to drive me absolutely loco. This is 11, and maybe I'll just like save that change. Oh, hey Sumia, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just trying to fix it. I linked up my Facebook to these alerts, and now it's driving me insane. It's driving me insane. What is... I don't want to test it. Oh, I keep pushing test. Damn it, I'm so dumb. Oh, okay. I put like an 11-second delay on there. And now I'm gonna just like turn that down a bunch, because it'll just look like I'm spamming everybody. Okay, great. Thank God. Ugh. So soon, the day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch. Oh shit. No. Ah. So Ash, I hope you enjoy watching Sakura Sao. I got a body pillow of her. My friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I probably would have been happily jumping into that circle. My Mike, Heiichi-san. How rude to even think about leaving. The way Satoko spoke was so typical and familiar that it physically hurt. But Keiichi-kun is not today not a good day, I wonder. And we are going to win big together. How? Seeing Rina's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey Keiichi, maybe Oishi-san is just some enormous jerk trying to separate me from the others lying to me. Slap. Trying to expunge such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face. Keiichi-kun? Was Rina really trying to kill me? Just want to tell me it was just a hoax. I didn't actually care if it was one or not. I just wanted someone to say it was. I didn't become this naive. Are you alright? Does your head hurt? Apparently that's how my inner dilemma appeared to Rina. You're pale. Can you make it home by yourself? I wish I can accompany you home. I wonder. No, it's okay, sorry. I can get home by myself. Just had the meeting without me. Upon hearing I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting, everyone pouted unhappily. This kitchen was so bent on a revenge match, we were going to play that deduction game from before, too. Keiichi-san doesn't have a burning desire for a rematch? Pathetic. I'm gonna fall for a dumb taunt. Without even a real retort, I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head. Keiichi doesn't seem to be well. I'm very unfortunate. It was Rika-chan. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hand. It felt so nice, which made things even harder. Sorry, everybody. See you. So hopefully everything's good here now, right? Right? Is this thing actually working? Okay, cool. That's all I said. Chris, thank you for liking the stream. So I quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in this state of mind. Took out my shoes, put them on, went forward. Hard in that heart, Keiichi Maebara. They were, for some unfortunate reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. I'm glad to hear that, Ben. That's fantastic. Oh, Ben, by the way, I guess you're from Germany, but we, on our visual novel team, we have a member who is from Germany. He's making our music. His name is Jan, and he's really, really fantastic musician. I'll get his, give him a shout out while I can here. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting your subscribers up. Just keep on plugging away. It's a journey, man. It's a journey. Well, you can check out his music over here. And he's making the music for us. Part of me lamented my naivete, while another part lamented the fact that I had lost something important by lamenting over it in the first place. It felt like my consciousness being ripped out of my body. This is what Oyashiro-sama's curse was like. It was just too harsh. Hey, Oyashiro-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse. Well, I believed in it now. Completely. Your curse does exist. So seriously, give me a break. I beg you, come on. Dinner was unusually bland. I had no flavor or aroma. The miso soup that normally tantalized my appetite instead tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in this household. When he got into his work, he ate and slept on his own schedule. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it either meant he had reached a good point to take a break or was in a slump. And by the way, some good news, guys. We have just reached eligibility to join the Level Up program on Facebook. So let me see what exactly this means. It says, let's see, meet the terms. Star streamers terms. Please don't tell me I have to, like, have an exclusivity. Okay. Superstar. Okay. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this later. Give me just a second while I get all this information ready. The partnership was just a verbal agreement, wasn't it? It's so hard to agree on things, why not just end it? I feel like it's an industry with a lot of backscratching, but when it gets in the way of business. Ooh, what we got? Oh, Fabian, thank you so much for the follow. I wasn't able to pick on much of my mom and dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. That, of course, made the disgusting food even less appealing. People I trusted, people I could depend on when push came to shove. It was something I didn't have. Having just one ally would be incredibly reassuring in the current hopeless situation I was in. First course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. That meant the only people I could trust were my parents. Man. Well, thank you, Shirley, for the follow. Oh boy. Whoop, 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 whoop. And Jorge, thank you for the follow too. Super microphone fell down. Neighborina was so diligent in looking after me, came to me after every day, sometimes brought over a share of what she made. I could explain she wanted to kill me. How I explained it, I would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat eccentric dad wouldn't understand. My heartstring mom probably would drag me off to a psychiatrist in a blink of an eye. Oof. Even if they did come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. No, by informing them, I would be putting my parents in danger as well. It's easily possible in Hinamizawa. What was important here was knowing that something unnecessary put you in danger. At least that was my case. After I found out, things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen to them. As long as my parents were here, this house would be a safe haven for them. But I knew these were just assumptions based on the conjecture on top of conjecture. Wanting this house to be a safe haven, that was the principle of my weak-willed method of thinking. No, I couldn't risk my parents getting involved. The person at my ally would be with Yoishi's son, him and him alone. He didn't care so much about my safety, but he was without a doubt passionate about solving the case. It was frustrating. Which sounds basically the whole reason I was in this mess. It was all going to according to his devices. It's my job to keep appetizing while bobbing in the waves as bait. Then, when the fish started gathering on, Oishi-san would pull up the big hole. Slightly infuriating, but even that thought was the best I can do. So then what should I do? Patience is the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until a fish actually bites. But I wasn't simply bait. There were lots of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough and tag out of Oishi-san. No question, it was going to be hard. Timing to bring Oishi-san in would be difficult. My phone him at any moment. It would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. I need to run away for those 30 minutes. So if we set a rendezvous point or some dire situation or something, I'd have to hide there until Oishi-san arrived. Okay, I can almost see it now. I was being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah, it'd probably be best if I could conceal the weapon. Things that rough. If we could let it go for a switchblade, that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, that wasn't good. When the time comes, a long weapon like a bat would work in my favor. I remember there was a metal bat at school. Could be confident with that when push came to shove. I pretended I was practicing my swing and it wouldn't be suspicious for me to carry it around. Go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just possessing a weapon may be enough to deter them. So one more thing, insurance. Could be something like a note or memo, or could just write anything down that's happened at a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanish, the journal would be left behind. My journal in his possession, Oishi-san would be able to avenge my death. I left my parents engrossed in a conversation about work and went back to my room. I tore a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to my desk. Last time I wrote a journal. For summer homework in elementary school. In the off chance something bad happened, the police could use my diary as a... So I should only write down the facts. Where should I start? See, does this actually work if I test this? What does this look like? Oh, cool, that does kind of work. I jotted down my thoughts as they came. I, Keiichi Maebara, in fear for my life. Marine laughed nervously. It was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never even dreamed that I would be the type for this kind of situation like to write it myself. I do not know why they are after me, after my life. I mean, any other suspicious, but I had no proof. And that's why I couldn't write anything more. I left Riley and myself for a passage draped in mystery. The police will get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage. I'm afraid that they would. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line. I just thought of. The only thing I know is it has to do with Alicia or someone's curse. Is that too much? If I wrote more, then it would seem like I was just delusional. Go to a piece of reader. The person who had written this was of sound mind. She doesn't have to write anything else beyond that point. I just needed to add more. As I learned about the truth. I folded the piece of paper and thought about a place to hide it. By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that they would uncover it instead. On the other hand, if it was in too obscure a location, then there was a risk nobody would find it at all. In the end, I decided to take the clock off my wall and stick a folded note on the back of it with scotch tape. I think I put the clock back into its new position. Yeah, it didn't look like anything was hidden behind it. It's sort of so. If anything happens to me, and parents could find it. I looked at countless angles until satisfied that I made my way downstairs. They're still talking about work. Didn't look like it was going to end anytime soon, so I cut in. Sorry to interrupt. Something I want to talk to you about. I started a conversation like that before, so my parents both startled. They stopped talking and turned toward me. What is it, Keiichi? I have a favor to ask of you. Please listen. Just in case, yeah? It's not urgent. Can we do this later? Right now, Mommy and Dad have something urgent they were talking about. Maybe the talk was urgent mine. In any case, I stated my request. Just in case, okay? If I die... That's my parents went eyed as sources. If I die, I want you to put the clock on my wall in my coffin. If they did that, they'd probably find it. My memoir. My parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch. Couldn't blame them. I made the clock in shop class, and I really like it, so please. What's the matter? Keiichi, something happened? Mom was finally able to answer me with a questioning gaze. Of course, this was a normal response when someone's son suddenly talked about a subject like this. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. I woke a moment, leaving the room in silence, I decided to go back to my room. I want to get to school early tomorrow, so I'm going to bed. Good night. Sailing that, I left the living room. I needed to get to school early tomorrow and secure that bat. Should make it today the last day I went to school arena. As I climbed the stairs, I heard my mom call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. If I talked about it, it would only make things more dangerous. The fight that had begun was mine and mine alone, and I couldn't rely on anybody. I wouldn't be killed. Not when I still knew nothing. Man, it's shit's hitting the fan. First time I ever woke with such clarity. 5:59, just moments before my alarm would go off. Okay. She quickly and descended to the floor. It appeared that my mom was still asleep. Neither breakfast nor lunch was ready. Yesterday, I used 3 hours clad that I would be leaving today or early today, so it can't be helped. Slid a jam with some bread and topped it with some instant cocoa. Just as I was finishing up breakfast, Mom groggily rose from her slumber. Keiichi, you're up early. Something sort of school event? Not really. Just very bluntly, I picked up my school bag and started stuffing 2 slices of bread down my throat. Leaving already? What about lunch? If you don't wait a bit, I can't make it. If I did that, it would waste the chances of me running into Rena and Mion on the way. Yes, from today onwards, I was going to go to school alone. Be fine for today. Then what will you do for lunch? I'll slip out and buy some bread or something at the store. Really, then there's some lunch money. Be sure to bring back the receipt. Took a 1,000 yen bill from Mom and slipped into my racket. Pretty early. Is Rena-chan up this early? No, just me. Did you tell Rena you're leaving early? No reason to tell her every little detail, do I? It's difficult to answer the onslaught of questions that made an annoyed face. Tell Rena that I went ahead when she comes. Hey, Keiichi, wait. Oh, matey. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for the follow. It's not that I didn't trust my parents. I just couldn't rely on them. They couldn't help me. I could only hope that they didn't get involved. It was safer that way. Mom's annoying voice was cut off by the slam of the door. First time I moved here, I headed down the road alone. Until now, I'd always walk down the same path at the same time each day. So I always met the same people at the same places. So it was different. I didn't meet the people I would normally was at the place where I would have normally met them. Of course, Rena wasn't the spot where we usually met, and there wasn't anyone at the spot where we would have met Mion. Looking at the trees, shadows this morning, and the brightness of the sun, it was completely different from the type of morning I was used to. Without a doubt, it felt strange. It left me with the impression I had destroyed the illusion Hinamizawa had set up before me before it had enough time to prepare all the props needed to deceive me. My Keiichi-kun, you're so early today. Is everyone meeting this early? This person who called out to me was someone we always walk by as they were taking a walk along the edge of their fields. His name was, I forgot. Of course, this wasn't the spot we usually passed each other. I woke up early today, so there would be a good change of pace, that's all. What a random excuse. What about Rena-chan and Mion-chan? Are you by yourself today? Well, yeah. I'm bringing at the same type of questions my mom was asking. So that's the same uninteresting, vague manner. It wasn't funny being asked where Rena was each time I passed by someone. But maybe it was to be expected. Because for so long we were always together so amicably. Even if I felt I left my guard down, we could be friends. Stop it, Keiichi. Don't think about that anymore. You spent all day yesterday thinking about how dangerous it was to go soft, didn't you? Beep beep. Car horn blared for out of nowhere. Even though I was walking, lost in thought, that horn was way too close. Mechanical behemoth barreled at me from behind, catching me completely off guard. By the time I turned around, the van's hulking chassis was almost on top of me. I'd seen plenty of cars veer to the opposite shoulder to avoid pedestrians, but this car was doing the opposite. It felt like there was somebody on the opposite shoulder. The van was swerving in my direction to avoid them. That blissfully ignorant train of thought delayed me from realizing something much more important. That large mass was hurtling toward me. Going to hit me? Inside my head instantly flooded with a painfully cold liquid. In that moment, the scene before me, no, time itself had frozen. In the silence of that frozen moment, I compared the van so close that I had no way to dodge it. In my body, the upper half twisted awkwardly in order to look behind me. There was no way I could dive out of the way in my current position. Thank you, Elias, for the follow. If I was focused now, this moment would unpause, and I would probably be plowed over, caught in this silly pose. Then my upper body over toward the paddy and by the side of the road. Oh man. I get away with being hit by the... As soon as that thought crossed my mind, its temporal stasis was shattered by the deafening sound of the van. The side mirror struck my shoulder, sending me spinning through the air like a top, locked in my contorted position. Splash. Sent tumbling through the air, I crashed into the muddy paddy by the side of the road. My entire body was soiled and drenched. But the choice I made in that instant was unmistakably for the best. I was covered in mud, but when the alternative was being hit by the car, it was the closest I could do to being unscathed. Rising out from the paddy, I had enough in me to glare over at the stopped van and yell for families to the driver. Not sure if he was able to see me, but the van sped off suddenly. Wait, damn it. This was what they call a hit and run, wasn't it? Couldn't help but continue yelling profanities. Disgrace from being covered in mud hurt me more than any physical wounds. I slogged through the muddy patty and made my way back onto the road. It's a crime, goddammit. Shit, I'll track you down and sue you. If I go looking for a van, I'm sure to find it in this little village. The path I was on had rice paddies on either side, and so narrow that one car could barely fit through. In a place you can full speed down in the car, let alone pass by pedestrians. Not only was it a narrow road, but the car just now was closer to my side of the road than the other when it went past me. You know, the car was desperately trying to suppress the dark cloud rolling within me. This wasn't just a hit and run. That car just now was trying to run me over, wasn't it? Thinking back, I did feel like there had been a car creeping up on me slowly for a while. That's right, as soon as I parted ways with that person taking a walk, I had a feeling the whole time. If it had wanted to pass me, then I had no shortage of chances. Normally, I would have felt suspicious and turned around sooner, but I was lost in thought and now kicking myself for not realizing it sooner. And then, when the path became narrow and there was no one else in sight, he floored it. If I had hesitated for even a moment, the result would have been no laughing matter. As the adrenaline rush from nearly being run over subsided, the realization of just how terrifying the preceding events were sunk in. There was no doubt about it. That van was intentionally trying to hit me. Cold, viscous sweat seeped from my scalp and slid down my back before dribbling off. I just want to avoid falling into a panic. There was still a possibility that this was really just an accident. Calm down, Keiichi. But also don't be so naive, Keiichi. Being that lax will get you killed next time. You need to always be on your toes, so don't give them any opportunities. If my enemy was really out to kill me, the next time they would use me a more reliable method. If that time came, I was acting like I was now. My being covered in mud was a price I paid for my own naivete. Covered in mud without an injury, not even a sprain. I guess this is what you call a silver lining. I began walking this time cautiously. I wouldn't even show a hint of carelessness. I didn't suspect only Rena and the others were up until now. No, it's because I suspected them that I had believed that there was no other enemies. Ushi-san so, didn't he? There was a possibility that all the families of the village were involved. Was I really mired up so deeply in the situation I had no choice but to try and carry on as usual? Wouldn't it be safest just to hole myself up in the house? The moment I abandoned my regular routine, everyone around me would abandon theirs too. This was just too horrifying of a thought. Recall the tales of Oishi-san told me that when Hinamizawa was still called Onikakushi. Fighting a tale of an entire village of demons hunting their prey, surrounding them and eating them alive. One must not interfere with the demons. One must pretend not to see it. The enemies were numerous, and all the village families. The villagers, with their unwavering faith in the curse, would do nothing to help me. The strong, sudden flash of sunrise made me feel dizzy. I had no idea what was going on anymore. When I suspected it was the work of a man, I would catch a glimpse of Oyashiro-sama's curse. When I suspected it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, someone would poke their head out. What was coincidence? What was intentional? Who was my enemy? Who was just a bystander? Now, what I really truly wanted to know was how did I end up with this proverbial bullseye painted on my back? Eventually, an answer in a form I could understand will appear. I don't care what will happen. But until then, I cannot die. That alone fueled my resolve to fight and will keep me alive. I've seen the metal back in the gym storage shed, but there was a padlock on the door barring my entry. At the very least, I wanted to get my hands on it before anyone else arrived at school. Circled on the school grounds impatiently. Look at these fine things like lumber. Nothing I could bring into the classroom easily. I had an epiphany. I should have searched the inside of the classroom. I could tell everyone's indoor shoes were still in their lockers. Good thing I came early. Nobody else was here yet. I wondered what I could find in the classroom. I didn't think I could find an especially effective weapon like a bat. Couldn't be helped at this point. Until the gym storage shed was open, I needed to find a substitute. A lingering hint of naivete whispered that There was no way that I would be attacked at school. Rodrigo, thank you for the follow. But such show-off ideas would no longer protect me. To think that they were slowly making their way into parts of my life that I had once thought impenetrable. In the worst case, my own house might not be safe anymore. It's an incredibly frightening thought, but I believe that not considering the worst case scenario would have even been more frightening. Hi, Barney, what are you doing? I'll survive. So long as I live, then I will definitely be able to escape this labyrinth. Hi, Bunny. Hi, Bunny. That was much to be expected. There's probably nothing I could do but swing my own chair around. My gaze land on the lockers that had come to be used for personal storage. Locker and Leon used to store a pile of games with among them. It was one for each person in class, all lined up. Of course, there was one for me as well. Oh yeah, that's supposed to be a tracksuit in my locker. Seeing me covered in mud would be strange, so I should go change later. Of course, I needed a weapon. When classrooms came, it was hard to rummage through all these lockers. I swiftly began opening lockers one by one. Mostly it's filled with things like gym clothes. Thank you, Akhtar, for the follow. Umbrella. If I couldn't find anything better, this would be a real weapon. I have to go and find anything decent. When I opened a locker, I held exactly what I wanted. Here, Bunny. Got that metal bat. It's well worn and pretty beaten up, but there's no doubt it was usable. In that locker leaked of mold. There was also a hung baseball uniform. Probably the locker of a student in a Pee Wee league or something like that. Hi, Bunny. Good girl. Good kitty. Yeah. 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 Good girl, yeah. That time I could hear the voices of the children scuffling their way noisily in from the hallway. Good girl. Looks like I can make out Rika-chan as a Toko. Morning. Why not? You're quite early this morning, KG-san. I nonchalantly hit the bat. I was going to be humming back. What's with your outfit? Covered in mud. Yeah, I had a little incident. I'm going to change now, so cut me some slack. That said, I'm taking my clothes off. Luis, thank you for the follow on Facebook. Changing in front of a lady, have you no tact at all? I would think that if a lady staring at someone or who was changing them would be the one lacking tact. Oh, I love you so much, Bunny. I'm getting a big hug. You getting a big hug, Bunny? There's no changing rooms for the boys, so just deal with it. Aww. Still refrained disgust, she went into the hall, still blushing. Curiously, Rika-chan continued to stare at me, comparing to change. If Rika-chan's a lady as well, then I don't think it would be appropriate for you to be watching. I'm not a lady, so it's fine. She's really pouty and looked at me with unturned eyes. I'm sorry, now you're a lady. If I'm a lady, then I suppose I must. Rika-chan, appearing to be satisfied being considered a lady, made her way to the joints and took in the hallway. Oh, that's great, Laura. I mean, I can make... I'm hugging her, so like if I squeeze her a little bit, she meows. I barely even squeezed her there. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, Rika-chan suddenly stopped and turned toward me. And she's also purring. She likes to be held tight. Are you going to start playing baseball? Seems like Higurashi noticed the bat. Yeah, just, feeling a bit out of shape. Oh, just so you know, I got a feeling that we're getting toward the end of the chapter because of this particular visual novel. Because in the very beginning, you just hear him like using a bat against Rina before the story even starts. So you know that's what's gonna happen, I guess. Yeah. So I thought I would just start practicing my swing. I think it's wonderful you're taking care of your health. But I think I have like 5 or 6 chapters of Higurashi. But after I'm done with Higurashi Chapter 1, I'm probably going to play Fate Stay Night and at least do the Fate route with Saber, because I've been wanting to just do that forever. And I'm also kind of used to reading in novel format. If I manage to finish a chapter tonight, I don't know, I might go on to Chapter 2 just to keep going, but I'm not really sure. I probably will just take a break, maybe, I'll probably just take a break and maybe rest, I don't know. But I'm going to start doing Fate Stay Night soon, after I'm done with this one. Because Fate Stay Night's also written in NVL format, which is like this novel format. Please don't lose that bat. I'm sure I knew I took it out of someone's locker. There's no name on the locker door. I don't know whose bat it was, but I would be borrowing it until they complained. Wouldn't be for long, just until the gym storage shed was open. Quickly changing into tracksuit, I checked the time. Still plenty of time before class began because I came so early. I took the bat in one hand and went out to the schoolyard. That was, of course, to practice my swing. To make it known I would always have a bat on me, so I could practice my swing. At some point, the sunlight had become even stronger. Disregarding my classmates as they made their way to school, I took my position in the shadow of the school building. I wasn't the academic type, so I wasn't much of an athlete either. And I wasn't much of an athlete either. It'd make a muscle pain if I just started suddenly swinging. So I should start out at least with some warm-ups. I thought anybody would think I was doing something out of the ordinary. Just the act opposite of my mental state. I gripped the bat and swung lightly. The bat was by no means light. The weight would make it a reliable weapon when I needed it to be. Of course, I could only pray that the moment I needed to use this as a weapon would never come. Just carrying it around could deter attacks against me. At least that's what I hoped. Huh? K-chan? What are you doing? Being bombarded with a historical voice, I jumped. Whoa, K-chan, you're on the baseball team? Baseball team? Rina and Mion. I'm surprised to hear you off ahead. What are you doing, K-chan? You're miss. Thank you for the follow on Facebook. Can't you tell by looking? Practicing my swing for the championship. You can say it's part of my diet if you want. Diet? K-chan, are you really that fat? Bet you didn't know, but I actually have a beer belly. It's plump and jiggles. Plump and jiggles. You don't have to imagine something weird like that. So Rina from imagining something that vulgar, I ruffled her hair messily. Well, I hope you can make it to regionals at least. Oh, thank you, Daniel, for liking the stream. Much appreciated. This old man would cheer you on. Regionally speaking, it seems that at Oshima High is pretty strong. They say that their Southpaw Kameda-kun is amazing. Good luck. Seems they made me out of a local prodigy, but oh well. Well, if I really did make it to the championship, it would be a cinch. So I'd be the pitcher and catcher. I pitched the ball, run past that ball, and I just threw it in charge over to being the catcher in a burst of super incredible explosive speed. Look dryly at the ludicrous image. Coming back to my sense, I smashed the bat against the ground. Damn it! What am I laughing at? pounded the ground over and over. The reverberation traveling through the bat, struck my hands. If they make me smile like that, I'll don't allow anyone close to me. Don't trust anyone. No matter how many times I tell myself that, if they smile like that, I really knew quite well that they were demons dwelling in my smiling friends. But I just couldn't believe it. Did that kind of split personality really exist? Like how Rina confessed to the doctor, were they simply being possessed by Oshiro-sama? In other words, a supernatural being like Oshiro-sama really exists and was possessing everyone to try and kill me? Yeah, that would be wonderful. Only everyone were actually my friends all along, and everything was all just Oshiro-sama's fault. Damn fool, Keiichi Maebara. Come on now. I yelled out, drawing out all the power from the pit of my stomach and raised it back violently into the air. Stop being so soft. I screamed out all my might. I beat the metal grat against the ground over and over. In fact, my weakness was being beaten down. Forget. Smash. Be soft. Smash. Know your enemy. Smash. Like the hell I'd let them kill me. My shoulders heaving up and down from my ragged breathing. I heard the first bell ring as I calmed down. I guess with sudden realization, that was the final bell. I felt a little tension drain from me. I let out a deep breath. My mind was in mental state for the entire day. I didn't feel like I was awake. I couldn't say I felt especially comfortable, but I felt a kind of relief that the sanctity of the school, part of my daily life, had yet to be violated. I don't want to keep on living like this. Feeling grit my teeth and bear with it as this living hell slowly gnawed away at me. Keiichi-kun, come on, it's club time, club time. The sound of Rina's voice brought me back to my senses. Come on, Kei-chan, stop spacing out. Bring your desk, bring your desk. So I was happy on club time. I had no intention of taking part. I haphazardly stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag and prepared to go home. It was a weak-handed gesture to avoid having to actually say I'll be going home now. What's this, Kei-chan? You planning on going home right away again? Milan sounded quite disappointed. It's not the mood. Can you let me be for a while? I don't know where that spilled from my mouth matched Milan's approving glare. It felt like the air in the room had dried out. Toko looked like she was about to say something. Perhaps by the mood, she swallowed her words and stayed silent. Nobody said a thing. I took that to mean that I could leave if I wanted. But the collective gaze of four of them, like tiny pins used to mount an insect in a display, held me in place. Rina was the one who cut through the heavy mood. Keiichi-kun, you just didn't like playing with girls, I guess. Sent such a melancholic tone that the wave of pain raced through my heart. This pain was going to kill me. I wanted it to be a soft part of me. I could still feel the pain. I tore on my chest, violently tearing out the pins that held me in place. That's not it at all. I'd only been hurting myself by saying anything more, so I swallowed my words. Cutting things off there, I turned away and exited the classroom. They didn't speak a word to me as I left. A long, dull trip back home, but I didn't lose focus. I firmly squeezed the grip of the bat, which was already soggy from sweat. Realizing I wiped it down with my sleeve or something were to happen, I wouldn't want it to be slippery. Since this morning, I'd become especially sensitive to the presence of cars. Even while walking, my ears pricked up and sweat out threatening sounds and presences that could be closing in. And that was why I could hear it. Without a doubt, there was footsteps. Those footsteps matched up perfectly with mine for a while now. But I could sense it was just one person. I had no intention of being careless. Did they intend to follow me like that car this morning until we were in a good location to assault me? And it wasn't a good idea to keep walking like this. I stopped walking and looked back. The wooded path through the trees responded with silence if nobody was there to begin with. But I wouldn't be fooled. I was certain footsteps were following me. And just as I stopped, the footsteps stopped as well. Me and the person following me wanted to keep the distance. That was without question proof that I was their target. I held my breath waiting for the presence of panic to start moving again. Trees rustled with the sound of wind. The Higurashi also joined in a dissonant chorus, trying to throw my focus into disarray. Had 5 minutes already passed? Oh, Axel, thank you for liking the stream. Much appreciated. Or had I been like this for the whole 30 minutes? It was so hard to breathe that I might have suffocated. It seemed I would be the first one to panic. Without a doubt, he was lurking in the shade of that tree with a bated breath. Then I make the first move. I fixed my grip on the bat. I raised it up to my shoulder and be ready to be swinging at any time. Hey, I know you're there. And Reeve, thank you for the liking the stream. That's appreciated. With all my might, I screamed at whoever was hiding in the shade of the trees. The presence in the shades didn't budge. Until the moment I found them, they had no intention of revealing themselves. I know already. I know you're there. I screamed angrily at them, but even still, they didn't move at all. I'll go over there myself. With all due vigilance, I approached step by step, stepping into the tree's shadow. Saw a human figure there. That figure was curled up like a small animal. Rena! She realized I had found her. Her expression softened. She seemed apologetic, but wasn't going to speak a word. Did you have some business with me? I wouldn't accept the silence and screamed the question at her. Not really, it's just, Rena was in panic, with tears welling up in her eyes. It was obvious that she had been following me. What about the club? Since you're not... I'm not. That shouldn't matter. Don't mind me and just play. But I'm just worried about you. Thinking about how I've been acting up until now, it wasn't hard to imagine my behavior could be perceived as strange. So Rena was concerned at a quick glance. That's how it would seem. I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Albert, thank you for the follow on Facebook. Even if it really was the case, she still wouldn't have to do something like to try to tell me. She should have called out to me when I was leaving and gone out right with me. Marina didn't do that. She kept her distance from me and matched my walking speed. However, she matched the sound of my footsteps. She tried to hide her presence from me. After she realized I noticed I was there, she held her breath. She tried hiding from me. She wore a timid expression that forced one to take pity on her, glad that she was telling me. Stop following me. How? Still glaring at Rena, I continued walking onwards. After I walked for a bit, she ignored my command and began walking again, so I yelled at her once more. I told you not to follow me! You put my house in the same direction. Then walk ahead of me. I'll start walking once I can't see you anymore. I moved out of the way and waved my bat violently to urge her forward. I'd like to go home together with you. In her expression, she meekly squeaked out the words in a voice that she knew would cut into my heart. It agitated me to no end. I knew it was a lie. If you wanted to go home together, you should have called out to me. I was blurting out random lies. I'm sorry. It seemed that my seething anger within me was written all over my face. Even when not saying anything, Rena had understood what I was feeling inside. If you get it, then go. I swung the bat, urging her to walk. Rena looked back and forth between me and the bat and started walking hesitantly, then stopped again. Go on then, hurry! I'm going! So please stop with the bat. It's scary. Rena guarded herself while pointing at me, holding the bat. She realized I wasn't planning on using this bat for baseball. I lowered the bat, but still guardedly opened the way to her. Go. There's no problem now, is there? There was nothing else she could protest. She passed by me timidly, so as not to set me off. As I watched her pass by, she stopped completely, they having barely moved at all. Hey, don't stop! The powerful gusts flew past us, barraging my face with dust. The dust got into my eye and clouded my vision. While rubbing my eyes with my left hand, I swung blindly with the bat, protecting the small opening I had presented. Rena didn't even try to attack her in that opening. Attack? No, she hadn't budged an inch. I could from the sound of her fluttering skirt in the wind. As the skirt settled, so did the silence. At that moment, the voice inside of me immediately warned me of impending danger. I was caught by surprise. The smell of the air had changed, without me realizing the air suddenly felt like a calamity was about to befall me. It felt like the air had suddenly become invisible, concrete, like Rena and I were locked in a space. Rena didn't move an inch. Also unable to move, I stared at her back. Rena was the first to break the silence. Instantly, she altered her stance. I feel like I just witnessed her shift from Rena into the other person who looks like Rena. But the voice was the one I knew well, which filled me with a bewildering pity. Carelessly, it felt relief upon hearing that pitiful voice. Well, excuse me, but can I ask you something? She shouted, even turning around. Rena squeezed her voice out desperately. She trembled. What? Well, why do you have a bat? I wonder. The question Rena asked was by no means unexpected. I can carry whatever I want, but you didn't have one up until today. Why so suddenly? It's alright if I decide to do something suddenly, isn't it? It's strange to have a bat? Because Keiichi, you're not the kind of person to play baseball. It's weird. Couldn't tell what kind of answer she was looking for, and I was getting tired of answering her. I just suddenly got the urge to play baseball. Is that so weird? It's weird, she answered instantly, and that annoyed me slightly. I just suddenly wanted to play baseball, and I wanted to practice my swings. I'm carrying around a bat. What's strange about that? Strange. Weird. Definitely. Why has Keiichi Ch1 also? Your memories are annoying me. Is it that strange for me to have an interest in sports? I tried to sound a bit more threatening to end the conversation. Some of the suspicions of Irina were clear. I had no obligation to answer her questions. I'm sorry. Don't get so angry. Irina didn't turn around and spatter out words of apology one after the next. Just one last thing. Tell me one last thing. I don't feel like talking anymore. Hurry up and go. I yelled at her, causing her to flinch like she had been struck. Seeing her in such a pathetic state caused me a heart to ache sorely. Even though she was afraid, she stubbornly kept herself from moving. Before I was able to threaten her again, Rena asked her final question. Why? Why is it that bat? Why is it that bat the same too? What does she mean by the bat was the same? What was she talking about? What are you saying? I mean, why is even the bat the same? I don't understand what you mean at all. Say it clearly. Mr. Lena didn't turn around. After inhaling deeply, she screamed. I mean, why is even the bat the same as Satoshi-kun's? Satoshi being, huh? When I heard that name out of the blue, I became dumbfounded for a brief moment. Satoshi, does she mean the student who transferred out last year? No, couldn't be. Rena had to try to cover it up by saying he transferred, but Oishi's told me clearly that he was missing. He was a student who sat at my seat until last year. He would have been demoned away by Oishi or someone's curse. I don't know the details about his disappearance. The aunt he lived with was killed at the night of the Watanagashi by a drug addict. And not long after that, he suddenly vanished and is now missing. The Satoshi and I were. What? My gaze fell to the bat in my hands. Could it be? Satoshi Hojo. It was a bit difficult to see, but that was what was written on the white tape at the end of the bat. I see, so it was Satoshi's bat. Oh, this was Satoshi's bat. So nobody was using it and I borrowed it. That's not a problem, is it? That's not it. What Irina said that made it seem like this bat was something that should not be be touched. It was like some sort of offering at a shrine or a memento of the deceased. Currently standing there perplexed and unable to respond, Irina continued speaking without waiting for a reply. Why is it that you're doing the exact same thing Satoshi-kun did when it happened to him? We were talking about more than just a bat belonging to Satoshi. Same with Satoshi-kun. He joined the baseball team, but he didn't really like baseball. What does that to do with me? Satoshi-kun also started walking around with a bat one day. He joined the team, but he wasn't the type to play sports. What about it? I closed my mouth before I could even say that out loud. It's carefully, Keiichi. He was trying to tell us something important. Satoshi-kun also came to school all by himself all of a sudden, just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day, he suddenly started practicing his swing, just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day, he began carrying the bat around with him, just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day, he suddenly what? I mean, it's follow her words. Rina's silence brought a hush back to the surrounding area. It was then that I could finally digest the content of this entire conversation. She said my chain of actions was exactly the same as Satoshi's. What's the meaning of this? Until now, I've forgotten all about Satoshi. I didn't pay much thought to him in the first place. More than that, I didn't even know anything of what he'd done. They would have put me in my own creation. So all that planning I had done. But hey, they had been the exact same as Satoshi's? Satoshi, more importantly, both Satoshi and I acted the same, then there was a really good possibility that happened after would be the same. Rina, that day, what happened to Satoshi? Rina knew. She knew what became of Satoshi. Forget about what happened to a guy in the past. She was going to answer me, Rina. Satoshi, what happened to him? With that, I grabbed Rina's shoulder violently and forcibly turned her around to face me. Faced her, I felt a jolt through my entire body. I told you, Keiichi-kun. Was a person I didn't know. At least it definitely wasn't the Rina Ryogu I'd been talking up to now. The voice just now didn't have a trace of the trembling or emotion that it had before. The amount of regret I felt for turning her around so carelessly was unsurpassed. That gaze that pierced like a cold needle, the swirl in her face invoked an image of having been carved out by a knife. Chills went down my spine. My mind froze under a layer of rime. Rina's eyes pierced through mine, leaving me unable to look away. It reminded me of the fear from that time from before, leaving her face close to mine, so that close I could feel her breath. Her face had filled my entire field of vision. Then her sharply shaped lips grew even sharper, like the curve of a crescent moon she grinned. I told you, Keiichi-kun. After a short pause, Rina repeated the same words again. Satoshi-kun, you see, transferred out. Transferring meaning what? Rina must have been some new definition of transfer that I was previously not aware of. My throat and lips dried up. I couldn't even acknowledge what I had just heard. I could do swallow my own saliva. Rina was so that as a nod. She pulled her gaze back and spryly stepped back 2 or 3 paces. As she did, my legs gave out and I fell to my knees pathetically. Rina and me on my knees underneath her, a motionless smile. That had to be a very odd sight indeed. Seeing me in that pathetic state, she neither scoffed at me nor held out her hand. But I could neither stand nor escape with her gaze shooting through my eyes. There was undoubtedly a metal bat in my hand. Right now, it was useless to me. I was like a fly caught in a web. Heavy sweat beaded all over my body. I could feel it dripping from my skin. But you won't, will you, Keiichi-kun? Rina finally released me from that cage of what felt like an eternity. The question was something important and could be vague. This guy swallowed her hard, urging her on. Do what? What does she want me to do? Transfer. Satoshi and I had what? All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi had really been in the same situation as I was now. The friends I had gone along with had changed suddenly and for no reason planned to kill him. For his life, he got a bat to protect himself and carried it around every day to practice his swing. And then one day suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation that coursed through my veins. Starting near my heart, it radiated outward from the top of my head, soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What do you mean by transfer? What does she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he was transferred to? Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? Where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What does she mean by transfer? Oh, I knew that was my front door. The knob was too hard to turn. Somebody home? Wasn't that odd of an occurrence? I reached into my pocket and pulled out a single key attached to my first sealed keychain. Winona, thank you so much for that follow on Facebook. I stepped into the entryway just as I was about to take off my shoes. A chill ran down my spine. Someone entered right behind me. Like a classmate messing around, sitting right up against my back. You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Largely speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey now, Keiichi. How do you know that they're there even though they're behind you? Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair. There's no other reason I'd hear that sound. That was the presence, because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi Maebara, there's no way you could hear that. It's almost instinct. Anything that was warning me of that presence, common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. Just my imagination. There's nobody behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. Oh man, this is some crazy stuff, huh? Actually, wouldn't it be better if somebody was there? There was nobody there when you turned around. Would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions by looking behind me, but I didn't have enough courage to make you do that simple task. Oh, right. I was speaking to them. The person behind me might answer them. It was a random thought. I didn't care how I went about it, just as long as I didn't have to turn around. If I calmed down about it, I would have known that wouldn't have solved anything. Who is it? So such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them contemplating their response. I felt that there's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. That time I was certain I heard it. As I was hesitantly trying to answer in my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of someone inhaling. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired by a primal yet fitting solution to this current predicament, or scream. All the force of my body released from my lungs and through my throat, ceasing all thought processes in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotions, I began to collapse like a house of cards and somehow managed to twist my body and look back as I did so. It's definitely there, right there. Somebody was there. Up until the moment I turned around, until I brought the area behind me into my field of vision, they were definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. Couldn't be. They were invisible. Whew. Yangel, thank you for the follow. As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst into a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extricate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In my state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. Metal bat hurled firmly in my right hand as if drawn in there by a magnet. A mile-level sweep. The horror's attack to dodge. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'm getting dehydrated. Oh my gosh. One second. I'm just gonna get some water. Oh god. This is the bathroom too. Get some water. Oh, man. Oh my gosh. Sorry, this is pretty scary. Oh, sound design is really good. Oh man. There's another fight. The amalgamation, after image of the amalgamation metal swinging as it flung left to right, beating against the enemy. Now slamming to the right wall. Tip rebounded violently. Very calmly transferred the force into a sweet length. The door of the shoe cover split into pieces. Those two swings ripped through space, empty space, but they seem to have a great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extracted the bat from the cupboard. I spun my body around a large arc. Ah! My screams took the air, imbuing my ferocious swing even more destructive power. Crack without mercy or restraint. My violent strike with certainly fatal force behind it shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks had struck the enemy, but my ferocity had seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my body soaked in sweat, the invisible enemy there, but not there, dispersed. Suddenly my enemy retreated. I locked the front door and latched the chain. I searched my house for the presence, but it was gone. Succeeding in fending it off, and at that moment the tension drained from my body and let out a sigh of relief. All the emotions I'd been holding out back chaotically merged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together. Unable to just deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest exhaustion. Even in this moment, I remained composed. After checking that all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little to clear my mind, all of my idle thoughts, and managed to calm down even more. It was at the front door. There was definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it was just an apparition I dreamt up in my confused state. But I really didn't think that was the case. Calm down, Keiichi Mayabara. Compose yourself. Now, how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't a figment of my imagination. It's obviously a supernatural phenomenon. Without a doubt, something is behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof. I had just one piece. I asked, "Who is it?" They inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I had been possessed by the supernatural phenomenon known as a Yashiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were imitating it. Either way, the motives were unclear. Found out way it had been done, and also still a mystery. It's perpetrated by humans without out. I mean that was Rina, and the rest of them doing it. But it would be solvable. Oishi-san and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. But for this manifestation of Oishi-sama's curse, I wonder what would happen. Oishi-san very clearly declared the curses didn't exist. At that time, these words were pretty dependable. But now, as things were, the rising possibility that the perpetrators were not human suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san this was the work of Oishi-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question that a void would expand rapidly between myself and Oishi-san. Me having so few allies to begin with, and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not, there was no merit in doing that. I better keep the facts of what just happened at the door to myself. Maybe if I didn't add what happened here, the memento, I don't know, like behind the clock. There was still the ever slight possibility. I was pretty confused when I thought I was composed, and I was just going in berserk in the entryway. How wonderful would that be if that was really what happened? Be able to refute Oishi-sama's curse. But if I denied Oishi-sama's curse, then what would mean admitting that Rina and the rest were the perpetrators? If I said that Rina and the rest weren't the perpetrators, then what would it mean believing in Oishi-sama's curse? By denying both of those, I'd be admitting that I myself am losing it. The three options from which I couldn't choose became a trilemma of sorts. I mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. I was going to straighten myself and lean back, in my head back slightly, cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what has happened as reality. Stop thinking anything more than that. I couldn't help but think of it. How wonderful it would be if it turned out I was delirious. Everything up until now was a figment of my imagination. Or you sure his commerce wouldn't exist? Now I'd still be best buddies with Rina and the rest. I have to be crazy. The first time in my life I'd ever wished for something like that. Phone rang noisily downstairs. Certainly there's no calls from me, so I never really answered the phone much. My parents weren't here, I had no choice. Scrolling over my bed, went downstairs. Hello, this is the Mayabara residence. Keiichi, this is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this. It was because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things. I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. There's still a lot of them. The other day we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup noodle. I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So I got a whole case of the mega-sized pork bone and ginger flavored ones I liked. My parents don't like the strong flavors and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards are still full of them. So you see, there really isn't a need to go shopping, right? Keiichi-kun, I'm not asking you to go shopping. Both Mommy and Daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Huh? Right now? This is really abrupt. No, we're already here. We left this afternoon. It's probably a distance from Tokyo to Hinazawa. Getting at full speed down the hallway would still take 6 hours. Highway. He has a license, but since he doesn't like the highways, they likely took the train. It would have taken longer. I think he might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract right now. Right now, things aren't going so smoothly. Now that you mentioned it, I did remember that. But they talked all that time, but his jobs prospects weren't looking so good. Daddy's really sensitive about things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work. Put on my father's particular fragile autistic personality, which has changed as easily as the false sky. It goes to say he couldn't take criticism. But something like that can be done over the phone. Keiichi, this is your father's job, so can you support him a bit, please? Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person. So there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. So, son, there was nothing more I could say once they started talking about work. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Keiichi, will you be fine on your own? It's not like I'll die or anything. Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of dying. If something troubling you, you can just talk to us. I believe Mommy will be able to help out. Yesterday I did bring it up if I died abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. But really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be solved by telling them. But I didn't plan on dying. At least not while I still knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I won't. That's why I remember to gnaw my leg off. Yeah. See you then. Tomorrow morning, make sure you wake up. And eat your breakfast. Don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. Yeah, see you. Call ended like that. Since my parents went to Tokyo for business meetings. But Tokyo is far away. They normally did things by phone. The times they did go normally planned out in advance. It never happened suddenly. So the circumstances didn't feel strange or rather natural. Anyway, I only need to recognize the reality of the situation. Tonight I was the only one in the house. When my parents came back to work, I'd be gone, missing. Vanished. Looking back on the series of events of the past 5 years, it wouldn't have seemed strange at all. I don't think of it, I was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was good that the only light on in the house was in my room on the second floor. I didn't work as an enemy that my parents were gone. And so the chance. First I went to the living room, flicked on the lights, and turned on the TV or reassuring volume. Next was a study. I simply turned on the lights and put on some music. With this from the outside, it would look like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. When I saw the veranda and the laundry still hanging out, I went pale. That would have made it too obvious. I need to take it down. I snatched down the laundry haphazardly and erased all traces of my mother wasn't there. She'll be fine now. Ah, garage. They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to the Okuniya station. The garage was empty, wide open. In plain sight, this was not good, and I panicked and rushed out the back to close the normally open garage door. Should be fine now. I need to get the paper. I've always got the paper since I left in the afternoon. Evening paper is still out there. My premonition was correct. Pulled out everything from the mailbox and dropped it in the entryway. With this, for sure, should be fine. Don't think of it, leaving the cupboard busted like that. My little freakout was kind of bad. I'll just say I tripped and fell, and Bat was smashed into it. Even so, just leaving the current state wasn't good. I should clean up a little bit before Mom got back and scolded me. I remember that there was a broom and a dustpan in the closet. As I was going to get them, the phone rang once again. Hello, this is my bar residence, and Jose, thank you for the follow. Oh, is this Keiichi-kun? Is your mom around? She isn't here at the moment. Idiot Keiichi Maibara. Don't really, and parents are gone? Can't follow up still. Calm down, you can take care of it. I think she'll be back soon. This wasn't a good response either. Now they might say they'll call again or tell her to call when he goes back home. And that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Well then, sorry for the bother. The scenario I feared didn't play out, eliciting a sigh of relief. Cole is fortunate in more ways than one. I had to deal with one more telephone calls coming in from my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I had to make up a good story explaining that my parents were home, but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They were making tempura and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Well, was that going to be safe enough? Thinking about it on the way back to the room, my phone rang again. It was like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. Suspect my parents weren't here. Should have just taken the phone off the hook until the pretense I didn't realize that it was. When the phone rang, I had to pick it up, turn myself and lift at the receiver. Hello? Something announcing that this was the Mayabara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But unlike my uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted. Hello, my apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okuniyomiya bookstore. Oishi-san. Is that you, Mayabara-san? Good evening. Good to hear you. You're doing well. Wait just a moment, please. I grabbed the portable handset, rushed up to my room with it. I was just saying no matter where I was since there was no one else at home, but I wanted to be a spot that just felt a bit safer when speaking to phone with Oishi-san. Sorry for the wait. Some changes then. And then when was that exactly? There was something about the brazen way he talked about what moving the wrong way. So it was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Oishi-san on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into town to lunch and tried to talk. Then after that, Rina and Mion came to check up on me. Whenever I spoke with Oishi-san, he always knew about it. It was like that since the first time I met him. Today's phone call may well be found out by them as well. Hello, can you hear me, Mayabara-san? Huh? Sorry, what did you say? Everything's changed since the last time. It wasn't an answer, so I got a bit worried. Not really. This word stopped in my throat. There was a ton of stuff that happened, all of it baffling. I talk about it, I didn't understand any of it, but I should try asking. If I didn't ask now, I may never have another chance. Well, Oishi-san, seems like someone is after me. Really? Could all just be a coincidence, but that day, I missed school when I was sick. The two of them came to check up on me. Which two? Rina and Mion. They started asking about how I had lunch with you. What next? They left me with some mochi that came to visit, but there was a needle inside. Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow it. I wonder, could that have just been a threat? About the needle. It was just one of those common sewing needles you see all the time. There's a hole to a thread string through. Not that, Mayabara-san, the needle itself. That's evidence. To be used as proof that I threatened you. Where is that needle? That's right. That's it. Took the receiver and rushed downstairs. When I told Mochi, I overlooked it out of terror, but the needle is a valuable piece of evidence. So the needle wall together. It was there to be on the living room wall. But my prudent mother cleaned that living room wall and there was no trace of the emoji. Could it be that they dropped in the gap between the wall and the carpet? Frantically searched by rubber and palm, but nothing turned up. I moved around the sofa and pulling the desk and flapping it around. Couldn't find the needle. I'm unclear of everything without noticing it. Just 2 days ago, I didn't know what day they collected the burnable trash, but it may still be in the trash bin. Rushed into the kitchen, opened up the lid, and poured out the contents, but even at a glance, I could tell it would be incredibly difficult to find a needle in this pile of trash. I was looking for a needle in a trash stack. I know, I'll try running my hand through it. It was a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle. If I felt a small prick, I'll be able to find it. It's a pretty tactless method, but it was the quickest. My breath started striking the pile of trash from my hands. Filth flew around. Nothing more disgusting than this, but it was not the time to be concerned about such details. Continued for a while, but nothing turned up. No, still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Oishi-san waiting too long. Okay, scroll on the words. It was a needle and a pen. Then dashing back up where I had been keeping Oishi-san waiting for far too long. Hello? Hello, how'd it go? Couldn't find it. I was really overwhelmed back then, and I see. It'd be great if you could find it. Keep it safe. That's right, the needle wasn't the only incident. I'm at the hit and run. All sorts of wishes, and that isn't all. Sure, this morning, I'm definitely aiming if I could say that without questioning due to circumstances. You see a license plate? I could search for it from here. Yeah, I just flipped out yelling at him back then, but I didn't look at the plate. Failures my part with the needle and the plate number. I was so focused on protecting myself that I let some of the most important details slip out of my grasp. I punched my pillow, annoyed at how worthless I am. I was sorry I didn't know. I don't know what much more than that. It was a white van. Nothing to fret about, my Barstone. Anyone else would be shaken up after being hit. Guess all this really isn't a coincidence, is it? Son started to hem and haw over the other end. Where's him folding his arms? Also, Rina's acting strange. How so? What Rina said on the way home today, asking why I was so much like a Satoshi-kun. I'm not gonna say it with confidence that Rina knew what happened to Satoshi. She knew there was more to it than him simply disappearing. Rina knows. She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last year. What would that be exactly? Rina said I was the same as Satoshi. She said something to the effect that the way things are going, I'll end up in the same fate as Satoshi. Fate, you say? Exactly what kind of fate did she say would befall you? Transferring out, she said. Transferring out? Rina said Satoshi transferred out. So given how things have been going with me, I'll transfer out too. He let a stern sigh and then grumbled loudly. My Barson is probably some sort of threat. Or maybe some type of warning. Thought so too. At that point, I started to think. Would it be prudent to sum up everything that had happened up until now as a machination of some human perpetrator? Wasn't it a theory of it being Rina and the elders? Of course, I couldn't tell what that told Higurashi-san. Could bring his strange behavior. It could be proof of other scenarios. Either though Higurashi-san's commerce could be real, everything being part of a conspiracy committed by the villagers. Rina was involved. Rina had to know something. Rina was suspicious. Who exactly was Rina? Higurashi-san admitted that he had dug up her past a little bit. I want to hear about Rina. I want to know what happened at our previous school. Tonight, I was alone in this huge house. Even though I said I couldn't count on them, I had lost security. I felt my parents being around. It was like this house was some fortress or castle. I wonder if I would still be here at all, so I had to ask right now because I had no idea what the next chance would be. Higurashi-san, I have something I wanted to ask about. Please don't keep anything from me. Sure, ask away. Even though he was so far away on the other end, this was the most reliable he had ever felt. I wanted to ask about Rina, about what happened at her previous school. Actually, regarding Rina's... This sounded been going on for a while. Alejandra, thank you for the follow. Since I was so focused on calling and pay attention to it first, I finally realized it was a doorbell. Time 7 o'clock. Past the time posting and making a delivery. And past any sensible time for a neighbor to be visiting. I could still just act like nobody was home, but that wouldn't be good. That would ruin their work. Putting and making it look like my parents were home. Hello, my boss. I'm sorry, somebody sent me at the door. I'm going to see who it is. A guest? I see. My apologies. Should we end the phone call now? That'd be a problem. No, I'll be back in a second. Do you mind if I just leave the phone on? It's fine, I don't mind. I'll then head to my bed and dash toward the door. I need to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was a lady who called right before. In which case, it would be one of my neighbors who's friends with my mom. I'll just say my mom wasn't feeling well and went to bed early. That would be the easiest option. It'd be hard for me to ask my mom to wake up if she's not feeling well. The bell continued to ring at regular intervals. Someone didn't answer. After you rang the bell so much, you normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without moving the chain, I opened the door slightly and peered out at the visitor. Chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside, I had prepared for this moment. Tried to escape by imagining it was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends. Good evening. Rena. There shouldn't be a reason to come in at this hour. That also made me feel uneasy. Maui, thank you for the follow. I wish I could have chalked this up to mere coincidence, but those unsettling words from Leon several days ago echoed back to me. And this old man doesn't know. Are you alone, Rena? Yeah. Was with it, but that didn't change the situation at all. Why'd you come here? Hey, Cage, couldn't I get open the door so we can talk? Can I come inside, I wonder? It's true that speaking through a chain door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate, but in my house, the chain has to be on at night. Don't worry about it. Then it can't be helped, I guess. She pouted sadly, but she kept smiling at least. Her effort to keep that smile up was quite pitiful. Even if she was tugging on my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. But I really feared more, and the possibility that hoodlums would assault me if I removed the chain. Just didn't be enough to remove the chain, having my friendship betrayed. The chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by Rena. Since it didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get into the entranceway. Have you eaten yet, Keiichi-kun? No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I laid down when I got home, was woken up by the phone, didn't have a chance to eat since I used up all that time talking. I was going to have cup noodles in any case, just eating whatever I wanted to. No, not yet. What about it? Good work. Look here. I brought a bunch of dishes. She held out a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. If I could use your kitchen, I can heat up the miso soup and other stuff. It's fine, you don't need to do that. But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. Keiichi-kun not like that type of stuff? I wonder. There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso with lots of ingredients. White radish, carrots, burdock root, and potatoes, dense and fibrous root vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible. I also brought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it really quickly. No doubt rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gullet, saving miso soup in between ravenous bites. Oh yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese. Also, I made some more pickles. I made sansai pickles this time. Before I had moved to Hinamizawa, I scoffed at the mountain of vegetables called sansai. But I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. They're deeply light flavor. The vegetables from the supermarket were tasteless and bland compared to these. Thank you for the follow, Guider Lolly. I don't know what kind of pickles they were. They go well with a fluffy white rice. Also, wait, there's more. It just seems so delicious. Farewell to my unhealthy self, who said he makes do with a couple of noodles. Rena appeared to be in good spirits, and she was offering or sounding a delicious sounding dinner. Stress evaporated from my gut, and hunger retreated to my head. At the same time, my wariness was Rena suddenly dwindled. Rena did say she was alone. I shouldn't be letting her inside. The possibility that I was laced with poison still hadn't been ruled out. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. I couldn't understand why such a sensation had occurred just then. But the voice inside me was sounding the alarm. The happy Rena was speaking of this charming dinner. It's been on one premise. The premise was tonight dinner hadn't been made by someone at my house, meaning it was under the assumption that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't here. And in a normal household, 7 o'clock would be right around the middle of dinner time. If my mom was here, we'd be eating dinner right about this time as well. The fact that she brought over all the makers of the meal at the time was inherently strange. Unless she knew. Rena, did she? Did she know that my parents weren't home? But there was also the chance that this was a bluff. I turned out the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem like my parents weren't here, and there was a chance that Rena was unsure if my parents were home. But I had to wonder. The laundry, the garage, the evening paper, there's plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It's hard to say Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not. But there's one reason for me to confess that right now. I should try holding on to the fact that as long as I could. First of all, the chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena wouldn't be able to do anything to me. I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready pretty soon. Huh? Is that so? Is that so? I went to all the effort and everything, but well, I don't think a good way to fuse my words trail off weakly. Some of those could work as side dishes, I think. Sorry, we have more than enough already. My mom always makes quite a few sides, so... Oh, you have side dishes? With a smile that bordered on a cringe. That's your questions, apologetically, but the feeling I tried to ignore began creeping up my back again. I spoke as if my mom was sitting down to dinner right now, but it didn't mesh with what Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of that some obvious fact, and that I was aware of it as well. So Keiichi-kun can cook. What did you make, I wonder? No, well, it's not that Rena had assumed out of nowhere that I had made the dishes. No, not so much that I made them, but rather that my mom hadn't. Did you really make them? Side dishes? Did you, Keiichi-kun? It wasn't me who made them. My mom did. No, she's making them right now. So you see, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena felt silent at that moment. The moment I felt that the light had suddenly disappeared from her eyes. How about I try guessing what Keiichi-kun's dinner will be? Doesn't matter what I'm going to eat. Let's see. Conversation might appear natural at first, but Rena was firmly in control. I felt like I was being interrogated. Your dinner, I wonder, is it something that can be made with just hot water? Hey now, stop with the insults. I can't believe you belittle my mom's extravagant dinner like that. Tickets sold out, full capacity already. It's that amazing. I had to put my best strong front, but I couldn't grit my teeth quite right. Most I looked like someone who was borderline hysterical. Rena showed no reaction whatsoever, even to that silliness. Keiichi-kun, did your mother really leave you dinner? Well, you see, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right now. It's almost time for dinner. Rena had taken the assertion in mind that my mother was home and making dinner right now, and was completely ignoring it. I could tell that the more I panicked, the colder Rena became. Hey, Keiichi-kun. That moment I had an uncomfortable chill crept in the gap in the doorway. Is your mom home? I wonder. Oscar, thank you so much for liking the stream. I couldn't keep up the charade anymore. Rena, she knew full well my parents weren't home, but I come far to admit that now. Anyway, my parents were here, and we'd be having dinner soon. That was the situation I concocted, so I answered. Told her she was here. She's here, of course. I could feel the humidity drying out from the air. Rena's eyes became suddenly more frigid, piercing me with their gelid glare. Why? Huh? What do you mean? I tried acting casual, but that facade was torn off me. I looked into Rena's eyes. That look informed me of Rena's response faster than she could open her mouth. Why have you been lying to me, I wonder? I'm not lying. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie. Lies! Rena's outburst sent a jolt surging through my body. Rena and I was separated about a few inches. I was slightly ajar. Still chained, could afford, despite that I was still being cornered. A house which I considered safe haven until now. No one could save me. Shall I get your dinner, Keiichi-kun? Let's see. I knew now that Rena had already known that my parents would not be here tonight. It was still so strange that I had come to this. Even if she somehow knew my parents weren't home, there's no way she should be able to guess what I'd be eating right now. But Rena, she guessed. How could she guess it? How could she know it was instant? Cup noodles. That's right, isn't it? I was going to eat. Wait, the cooking repertoire of a man. You can't do the housework of potting more cup noodles after all. I think that's statistically the most probable answer. I don't think you'll be full with just noodles. I think having rice and stuff definitely hit the spot. Calm down, Keiichi. This is just coincidence. We were just reading certain tales of mine. So the fact that she was inferring what I was thinking alarmed me, but it wasn't as if she was actually reading my mind. If it was being read, then she was a demon. No, not a demon. Things like that, they couldn't possibly exist. Do you like them? Do you mean the noodles? No. Rena indicated that the point of my answer was addressing was wrong. Her rebuttal was so short, I momentarily didn't understand what had been spoken. Sorry, Rena, what'd you say right now? Huh? About what? Just now, you asked me if there was something I liked, didn't you? It was long before I regret how carelessly I pushed forward with that question. It's a simple answer, that's why I wasn't able to comprehend it. Pork bone and ginger flavor. I wonder how I appeared in the moments. My mind went completely blank until I was able to recover. Lost all sense of balance. Why do you know that? Didn't even deny it. That was the type of frenzied state I was in. How could Rena know this? Not even caring as I mashed my head against the door. I fixated my gaze on Rena, but she didn't even flinch when she saw me do that. I certainly did buy them. I bought a bunch at once. Bought a whole case. How can you know that? Why, I wonder. Quite strange, isn't it? Isn't it? How can you dodge a question at a time like this? The chain of the door is suddenly no longer protecting me. How do you know? Why do you know? Answer me. You bought them in 7th Mart, didn't you? Shiver ran down my spine. Tried covering it up with an angry facade. Like I said, why do you know that? I was behind you, following you the whole time. What are you saying? I couldn't understand why she was saying she'd been following me all this time. That's because Rena was right behind. Keiji-kun's back. The whole time. Ha ha ha. Davi, thank you for the follow. Like that night I was absorbed in my phone conversation with Uchi-san. I didn't even sense that she was standing there, standing behind the door, behind me standing there, just like that. Keiichi was picking out the noodles. I was watching him the entire time. You picked out so many different flavors, didn't you? Then your mom got angry. She was going to pick the expensive ones, and you should just pick one type, she said. And Keiichi-kun picked out the box of pork bone and ginger flavor he loved so much, didn't he? I like it too. Pork bone noodles. But I can never eat a whole big bowl by myself. My brain is paralyzed, stilling my senses. Might have been the defense mechanism to diminish the fear I was feeling of non-traumatizing levels. With the fear being diminished, the fog enveloping my mind was cleared away. Then I could understand what Rena was saying and started to put meaning behind the words. Even so, my fear hadn't subsided completely. It was like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. It didn't actually solve the basic problems. So, Keiichi-kun, can you open this? We can eat dinner together. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, so okay? Her pale, slender fingers squirmed through the crack in the door, one at a time, as if they had a mind of their own, rattling the chain. She unlocked the chain from her fear, and a terror would have exploded within me, but Rena didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain. She did her hardest to light the fuse to the powder keg in my heart, trying again and again. But it doesn't light. It doesn't light. Open up, Keiichi-kun. Please go away. I beg you, please go away. How can you say something so mean? I wonder. Please go away. Go away. Go away. Powder keg inside me finally went off. No smoldering, it just exploded. I tackled the door. The force of the door had knocked Rena momentarily off balance. I couldn't hesitate here. I grabbed onto the doorknob with both hands, planted my feet firmly, and pulled with all my might. That slamming the door sound didn't happen. I could feel a tiny, stirring bit of resistance, keeping the door from closing. And I saw it was Rena's fingers. Each of those fingers wriggling and squirming around like tendrils of carnivorous plants through the crack in the doorway. It hurts, Keiichi-kun, it hurts. It wasn't a harsh shriek, but more of a yelp she was trying to keep back. Go away, go away, go away! I kept on pulling the door with all my might. I didn't even realize if I didn't loosen my pull, Rena wouldn't be able to pull her fingers out, and that was why the door wasn't closing. Really, it hurts, Keiichi-kun. I'm sorry if I was messing around too much. I didn't care one bit for her apology. No matter how much she apologized, it didn't change any of what she had done up until now. It didn't change anything. It hurts, it hurts. I'm sorry. Go away, go away. Rena couldn't leave if she wanted to because I trapped her fingers. Rena's white fingers had become deep red and were no longer squirming. I'm sorry. Go away, go away, go away. I'm sorry. Rena's apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, but like a broken record, she was intent on repeating over and over. Go away, go away, go away. Stop it. I pulled the door even harder. Finally, Rena's fingers were somehow able to slip out from their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed soundly. And I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. I made a loud clunk, voicing my rejection to Rena. I'm sorry. Keiichi-kun, I'm sorry. Open up, Keiichi-kun. Rena leaned up against the door, apologizing profusely, nothing else. After confirming I was sufficiently steered away from her, I tugged away from her entire entryway. I could hear her echoing, I'm sorry. These pitiful words would be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about this at all. That wasn't any sort of malice. I just felt a sort of hazy sense of relief I was able to escape from Rena. Rina threatened me at this doorway, saying that there was nothing she didn't know. And just now, at the same place, Rina told me the same thing. My feeble attempts to disguise that the fact that my parents weren't home served no purpose from the start. Legal plans hadn't helped at all. It was impossible to outwit them. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get as far away from Rina as possible. One step, two step. With each one, her sniveling apologies became more distant. I sprinted up the stairs and dove into my room. As you expect, I was finally no longer able to hear Rina repeat her endless apology. There was something in my bed. It was the receiver. I remembered I was in the middle of a call with Oishi-san. Looking at the clock, apparently not much time had passed since I went downstairs. Could my clock had run out of batteries? I talked with Rina so long, how did almost no time pass? With a hand on my second clock was ticking forward, 1 second as usual. As I put the still warm receiver to my ear and began moving. Hello, Oishi-san? Sorry to keep you waiting. No, not at all. I didn't wait that long. It became apparent that the amount of time that I passed myself was different. With the phone, I could hear an energetic voice from a sports program or something. It drove just how far away Oishi-san really was. Rina came just now. Did she come to play? I wasn't confident that I could coherently explain the situation, but I didn't need right now. Right now, I need to know about Rina. That's right, I was planning to ask him about Rina. What was true and what was false, I couldn't tell. One thing I knew was a single grim reality that Rina was suspicious. Oh my gosh. I might be able to figure out something if I asked Oishi-san about her. But till now, I had regretted it. Oh my god, this is intense. But looking at it that way, you could say I'd hit rock bottom. It's impossible way I could feel any more regret than I did right now. I want to know is anything beyond that I would regret anymore. Forget about tomorrow. It wasn't out of the realm. The possibility for something to happen tonight. I want to know everything I could. It's absolutely not going to die like this. Not without knowing anything. I definitely won't. Regarding Rina, I did a bit of digging. Yeah, well, it wasn't much. A bit. I dug so deep it'd be hard to discuss with you since you're her friend. I want to know everything from your research. I don't think it'd be interesting what I have to say, though. Oishi-san. Spoke as calmly as possible. And I said it. I think Rina Ryuga was suspicious. Even in the past incidents were from Oisha or someone's curse, Rina Ryuga is involved. Do you have some sort of proof that you believe makes Rina suspicious? I know when she spoke became very firm. I was been talking as a detective. I only have circumstantial evidence. I see. Whew. Man. Could tell, even over the phone, how disappointed Oishi-san was. On the fishing line. I felt the bite. Ready to somehow cast the line once more. That's how it seemed. Oishi-san, you can't do anything without physical proof, right? It means you can't come and save me without proof. Just check the problem there. It's fine, Mayabara-san. I'll protect you. That's not the least bit reassuring. Oishi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. I was going to get killed. My course would be an important piece of evidence. That's all it was to him. All I needed was to relay to Oishi-san was that I was currently in a very dangerous position. Please tell me about Rina. The coach transferred out. Not too far in the future, I'll probably do what Rina called transferring out as well. But you won't be able to find my corpse. You haven't even been able to find Toshi's body yet. Alright, Mayabara-san, please calm down. I was already suppressing my agitation, even without Oishi-san having to tell me. It wouldn't solve anything if I continued to scream about mistrusting the police. It seemed I'd only depend on myself and the bat Satoshi left behind to protect myself. And I at least wanted to know about what happened before Rina transferred schools. You're aware this won't be very interesting, right? Oishi-san realized my resolve couldn't be sweet. Fine. Please. There are a few things I need you to agree to. Okay. Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Might not be true. This is an investigation of Rina done by police. It's personal query, is what you're telling me? Things will make it a lot quicker since you understand. All this is from either phone calls or meetings and interviews. So they aren't corroborated. I'm asking you to take this all with a grain of salt. All of it is just from what you heard. Yes, my apologies. It's all my personal investigation, you see. The thing, before you said you saw Rina's chart, didn't you? Pretty sure I heard you say that. I'll pause for a moment on the other end of the line. I told you that too. Please pretend you didn't hear anything about that. So, kid, there's no proof. Even though just rumors, there's no smoke and fire. After all, please tell me, Oishi-san. Oh, understood. Oishi-san finally opened those tight lips of his. It seemed real. She's losing Hinamizawa a long time ago. She moved to Ibaraki Prefecture after she finished elementary school. After transferring, an unfortunate incident with the breaking of windows occurred. Then Rina confided to the doctor. It was a Yoshiro-sama. This was all that he knew. Much of a difference between what I know and what you know, Maibara-san. Then what part did you investigate further? Yes. It was the incident that happened just after she transferred. The incident Rina was responsible for. After you learned about you started suspecting Rina and the others, didn't you? Yes, I suspected them. So they're the ones after all. No, that's not what I mean by suspect them. And who do you suspect? That it was Yoshiro-sama, huh? That Yoshiro-sama's curse really exists. Yeah, right, well... John's lap was quite dry, certainly not the kind that you would want to join in. Oishi's resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances between Satoshi's disappearance. Of course, the events leading up to until the start of delving into Rina's past. Oh, hey, Bunny, I could use your company. And thunder started in the distance, and a heavy rain started to pour down. I left the window in my room open a crack and let the heat out. The violent wind danced into my room. What is it? Oh, nothing. It suddenly started raining heavily. Got while still on the phone and closed the window. This is an incident, but because neither the school nor the victims filed charges, the police were never involved. Those involved were very reluctant to talk. Also, a psychologist was very strict about their professional ethics. Whoa, my bar-son, can you hear me? There was a figure of a person standing by the light near the mailbox the whole time. Even Mr. Rancho Van didn't have an umbrella. No question, drenched from head to toe. Come here, Bunny. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Hi. What a good kitty you are. Hi. Just standing with both arms dangling at her side. One hand was a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. Her eyes focused on my room, focused on me as I was about to close the window. Her mouth was methodically free and chewing motion. As she had something hard to chew in her mouth, with her cheeks puffing out. She was eating over there. Look at that, at this time I was more enthralled by reading instead of shocking developments brought by Oishi-san. Nina's well from moving the same pattern. She wasn't eating something, she was repeating something. What was it? To me? What was you saying? Why was I right up against the window, fixated on her? Hello, Mayabara-san. Can you hear me? Hello? I'm sorry. Mayabara-san? I'm sorry. 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 Hello? Mayabara-san, what's the matter? English Rancho Van was still apologizing. The other self inside me threw the curtain hastily within my right hand, blocking my view of the outside. Even doing that, Rita's relentless apologies still drenched my ears. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Damn it! Why'd I have to forgive her? No one wants to be forgiven. What part of me can't you forgive? I won't be killed. You won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive, I won't forgive, 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 I won't forgive. My bar-son, if you can hear me, then please respond. Hello? What a... So right now my cat's in my head, behind my head. Okay, let's continue on. Just be lying if I didn't get any sleep. Tried to stay awake all night, but there was still definitely gaps in my memory. I kept nodding off and joking awake in my panic all night. I went hugging the middle back, sounding back with a futon, used to barricade my door. Waiting, watching, just in case someone tried to break through my window. I was spot someone break through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. When I stopped watching the window, someone would break through the glass and attack me. I thought myself I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. Whew, this has been pretty intense, guys, but I think I'm gonna save for now. And in order for us to continue this tomorrow, I'm just finish it off.